not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about being okay with the good, bad, and ugly. To accept those things about ourselves that we can't change, and those things that need to be changed, we put on our big girl panties and do the work. Be true to you is about being real with God, being real with self, so we can be true to you. Be true to you is not about competing with one another. We're about complimenting one another. Hey, what's up, world? It's me, your girl, Angela. Welcome to the Be True to You Talk Show. Hey, you know what today is. It is
Mommy Monday.
And that's right, Mommy Monday. We have my beautiful mini me here. And go ahead and click that link, like, share, and comment. We're going to share it live on Facebook. So just give us one moment as we invite the other family members to join in. Hope you guys are doing great today. Hope you guys are excited. I'm always excited when I don't have to do the show by myself. I'm always excited when I have my mini me here with me. So, hey Morgan.
Hey, Mama.
How's your day going?
Hey, crew.
Hey crew. We know it may be a little late, but y'all
hey,
gonna come in.
Ocean.
Hey Ocean. Go ahead, share, invite your friends, invite people to come on over and like us and join into this conversation that we're having today. Like we like to say before we get started, again, welcome to the Be True to You Talk Show. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Hey, sharing is caring. Make sure you subscribe as well. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Share.
What is sharing?
Caring.
And so we want to make sure you care
about. I don't care, so I don't share. Don't be like me though. Share this link.
Share this link. Don't be like that one. Care and share, because we need you guys to help us go to the next level. That's right. Help us go to the next level. Now, if you hear our little furry dog in the background, we do apologize, but
that's our furry child, not our furry dog.
Our furry child. She's having a little disconnection from her mother. She don't know how to act.
She has separation anxiety.
She has it real bad, you guys. But nevertheless, we're here today. We're here, and we are live and in color, and we're doing what God has called us to do. We're excited to be here, thick and all. We're excited to be here. And since I said thick, let's talk about it. Today's show is going to be Let's Get Healthy. Let's get healthy
together.
Exactly. Let's get healthy together. And when you get healthy together, some people may think you're just talking about physical health, right?
No, but mental health is important as well.
Mental, physically, emotionally, as well as spiritual. And so all those things ties in order you to be whole, to be healthy. You can't be one-sided. You got to have balance. And sometimes we focus on just one thing. We may focus on our physical health, but we don't think about our mental state. We think about our mental state, but we don't think about our spiritual state. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just talk about balance, and hopefully we can not only get our life in order, but help you
someone else get your life in order.
Right. And so
first, right?
You had some questions from your friends, right? And so we're going to tie those in. First, let's see what their question is first, and then we're going to see which state we want to talk about first.
Okay, so two questions that I have for my friends are, how do you know when to let go? That being with relationships, jobs, friends, family members. Just how do you know when it's time to walk away? And another question is, well, not so much a question, but more so it's not an art, but being compared or having comparisons to other people around you, your parents having comparisons between you and your siblings, you comparing yourself to your friends, or like just comparing yourselves to the things that you see on Instagram. So how comparison can affect you.
Right. Wow. So I'm so glad that those two questions came along, because those two questions all deal with the mental health, right? It's all about your mindset, where you at, located in the natural, how you thinking about things, how you process things, how you're able to let go things. And so when we talk about mental health, those things can trigger our health. They can help us positive as well as negative. As far as relationship that is time to let go and we don't, that mess with our mental. Jobs that can no longer serve us, we're not elevating, we're not processing, performing in our best, that could mess up with our mental. To be holding on to material things because of where you got them from, how you got them, and that can mess up your mental. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about when to let go, and that was one of the questions of your friend. How do you know when to let go? One of the way to know to let go is when it's no longer serving you.
Right.
When you're not getting benefits out of a relationship, out of a job, out of a habit, when you're not benefiting from it, when it's causing you detrimental emotional strain. And so, not saying we're using anybody, but anyone that's in your life and you're in their life, you should be able to benefit from it.
Right.
People shouldn't be in your life just to be in your life, and vice versa.
Right.
And so one of the things to know when it's time to let go, when you're not benefiting from it and it's causing you harm more than joy
Good.
and good.
Another way to know when to let go is when it causes you to question yourself. If it makes you wonder if you're good enough, if you're doing enough, anything that causes you to question yourself in a non-negative, in a non-positive light. If it's negative, then that's another way that you can know that it's time to let it go. If it becomes more of a burden than anything else, that's another way for you to know that it's time to let it go. Even in work, if it becomes too much work, that's a way for you to know then as well that it's time to let it go.
Yeah, when you go to bed thinking about a job and that it's overwhelming you,
right?
We are,
because you know what I'm getting ready to say. Me personally, I do not have a problem walking away from a job. I will walk away, baby. I will walk away if I feel like, it serves me no purpose, if I feel like I'm not getting the respect that I deserve, if I feel like I am not getting the consideration that I deserve, or if I just feel like I'm tired, baby, I will leave a job.
You know why? You will do that. And it's good to have that mindset. And I don't want to say you could do that because you don't have any responsibility, because that's not good. Sometimes we feel like because of responsibility,
You have to stay.
we have to stay in, and we stay in a situation way too long because we're walking in fear.
Right.
We're not allowing our mind to expect for better, for greater. And so I like the idea that you're not going to be complacent, right? And that you're not going to let fear control you. And that's another thing as far as our mental state, that we allow fear to control us. And I'm not saying that everybody can conquer fear on their own. Sometimes
Right.
you need therapy. Sometimes you need some form of counseling. Sometimes you may need a little medicine. And sometimes you need to go back and reevaluate yourself spiritually. But fear is one of the things that has gripped the people in our mindset that we can't move forward.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you understand that, well, good, bad, or indifferent, not to let a job hold you down.
No, man, I'm out of there. And sometimes you need a confidant. So like me personally, I always call you first. And if you tell me I'm not wrong, oh baby, I am gone. Because I know that you will always be my voice of reason and you won't lead me in the wrong direction. And so if you, who is someone who, wants the best for me and you're always encouraging me, you try to get the right path. If you can say like, then I need for real, like,
Yeah.
I'm out of there.
Yeah. And you said the right thing. Everybody needs somebody. And I don't know what's going on in this world where we don't need somebody. Oh, we can do everything on our own. Everybody needs somebody. And when you said you had a voice of reason, we need to have a voice of reason. We yearn to have a voice of reason. But sometimes the enemy, and I'm always going to say the enemy, or I'm going to talk spiritual. So just that I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Just because I don't mean you believe in it. I want you to know where I stand. So sometimes we feel like, if the voice in our head is louder, right? And there's so much in the truth. And so when you say things about someone that's, is good counseling. So you can trust their opinion. Thought of it makes things easier. It makes the life a little easier to walk.
Yes, it gives a little bit less of a burden on yourself when you know that you can have someone that you can go to that actually has your best interest at heart, and um, it gives you an extra person to trust. Because sometimes it's hard to trust yourself.
Especially if your mental is not right.
Yeah.
Especially if your mental is not right. How do you know that your mental is right? What are some steps on healthy mental state? And, one way I find to be a healthy mental state is one is to be able to um, release things. How we
Mm,
talk about some things. Sometimes we're in a state, a bad mental state, because we're holding on to a perception of something, holding on to something how it used to be. We're holding on to the opinion of someone who's no longer valid in our life, who's no
right.
longer serving us. So when you can get to the place of knowing how to let go, that one thing can help you as well as was a better mindset, a healthy mindset, should I say. And sometimes holding on to old things and thinking old ways of thinking, it stops us from developing, right? And when we can't develop, we can't grow. When we can't grow, we can't move.
Because growth is the name of life.
Yeah. When you're not growing, when you're not changing. Everything changes. There's a season, there's
Right.
time for everything. So if you're staying mentally, you're gonna stay stuck.
Physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. If you stuck in one way, 9 times out of 10, you stuck in every way.
And then another thing that I look for is how to help the mental state is to reflect on yourself, reflect on those things that you've been through. Journaling.
Journaling is a very good way to keep track of your mental state because a lot of times
Okay, maybe let me just put mine down. Is that better? Okay.
a lot of times you can lead yourself in the wrong direction if you act on things as soon as you do it. So it's good to journal and see how you handle stuff, because there are some things that you can't put into words,
Mhm.
like expressing it to someone else without maybe feeling like you're crazy or nobody understands you. Your journal will always understand you and it will help you better understand yourself.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was a person to journal all my life. And when I say that is that whenever I couldn't come and say my emotion to someone, I would write a letter. And that is the best thing to me because when you write a letter, people don't have the chance to inject how
Respond
they
right away.
feel or have a rebuttal on what you're saying. They don't listen to talk. They don't have a choice but to read, so they
Right.
can't interrupt. And so I've learned to always write a letter. So in the midst of me writing my letter, bad spelling and all, I've learned to journal through my life. And I think when I do that, life is better for me.
It is. And maybe I got that from you because one thing about me, I'm going to write you a letter.
Hmm.
Not even talking about Aaliyah because you know Aaliyah. Well, you know Aaliyah?
That's your daughter.
No, that's Mocha. You talking about my 4 kids? No.
Well, who is Aaliyah?
I'm sending
The
him a
singer.
4-page
Okay.
letter.
Oh,
I'm gonna send somebody a letter. But
yeah.
when I was in high school, I used to send letters all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like hold on real quick. I'm gonna write you a letter and we're gonna come back because I need you to know how I feel, but I also need to be able to
Express.
express it freely
Mhm.
with because sometimes having a conversation, I can honestly say I will lose track of my thought because I'll get distracted by something that you said. Now we're on a whole different
Mhm.
subject. So writing a letter, or well, now since we're in 2023,
Texas.
I do it in my notes,
Mhm.
and then I have time to reflect over it, and then I'll send it to you. But in some cases, I actually won't send it to you. I just
It's
need
for
it to
yourself.
get it off of my chest.
Right.
But I think that is a very good form of keeping your mental health in state. Like write that letter. You don't have to share it. You don't have to,
Mail it.
you could just, but write it for yourself at least. Because there's something that like there's a certain release that you get from just letting it go. It's horrible to harbor things, and sometimes you can't really talk to the person, but when you write it out, I'm guarantee you'll feel so much better.
Yeah, I've been doing that since like 6th grade. I would write a letter to my dad. If I was going through something when I first married Woody, I would write a letter. I wrote a letter to your daddy. My first husband, it don't matter. I will write a letter in a minute because especially when you talk to someone who's argumental,
right,
or someone who just they're just always right. So
or they just listening to respond and not listening to comprehend or like come up with a solution or really get down to like the nitty gritty and trying to figure out, okay, where can we go from here?
Right.
No, you just want to argue
or prove your point.
And people these days, they like to gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's much better to just have a conversation alone sometimes, in the sense, to avoid those things. Gaslighting is the worst thing you can do to somebody. Y'all need to stop that.
Yeah, sometimes people don't know they're doing it. That's some has to do with our mental health, dude. Sometimes you just don't even know. But one thing I'm glad we got out of this, and I hope you guys got out of this, is journaling is so important. Most millionaires, most people of business that's successful, they would tell you one of the reasons why they was able to do that is because they journaled. You have to journal. You have to write yourself a to-do list. Those are steps into a healthy mental state.
And journaling can immortalize you. Look at Anne Frank. We know who she is all because she did what? Wrote in her journal.
That's true. That's true.
Had it not been for her journaling, we would not know who Anne Frank was, and nor her experience.
I just say, and her story, her life story, that was a good one. And so that's true too, because I just watched a movie last night where was it last night, babe? Night before last, where this guy and this had came into town. But before he came into town, this other lady was a lawyer, and she was working in the same office that he's working in. She was white and he was black, and she inherited this house from this older Southern white lady. And in the midst of it, they found a diary, right? A journal where this lady literally journaled her life to her unborn son. And so happened, she was a white girl who got pregnant from a slave, and they got married under the moon. And she told all those details, but how the father, because he was the master, wouldn't let her keep the son,
right,
and how he killed first it was the mom who got pregnant from a black man, then the daughter turned out and did the same thing. And anyway, make a long story short, they died early. The son was raised by another madam, and from that point on, because of the journal, even though it got lost, but before it got lost, the trait of the name kept going, and because of the trait of the name kept going, the bloodline kept going, right. And so the wisdom was bestowed in the journal, right? And so I just thought that was good how we're talking about journal, because you're right, you can be immortalized through your journal. And so we don't even think about that. Sometimes we think we're just journaling just to be doing something. And sometimes we don't journal because we're thinking about vision boards, right? Or we thinking that it's just about goals, but it's really about expressing those things that's in you. And those things that's in you, once they come out, it don't have any control over you.
right.
And then also when you see something in paper, those things that you see, you visualize, you're allowed to live, you're allowed to breathe life into it.
And it's also important because, like I said before, sometimes you don't want to like actively talk to someone about it. But if you don't talk about it, you're storing it. And when you store things, it gets heavy for you and everyone else that's around you. So it's very important to release.
Yeah.
Release is a good word.
And learning your triggers, how to have a mental health. Don't be in denial when you know that you have a trigger, right? And people may, those people that you can listen to, their voices of reason. Not everybody, but people, when someone is saying that you have a trigger and you're hearing it more than once, then put on the big girl, big boy panties and own up to those things, and then do the work that need to be done to change it.
Boys don't wear panties.
Drawers. Some of them do.
That's actually, you got me there.
Some of them do. And so sometimes we just all about truth to ourselves. And this is what I love about this story. And I told it before, when God gave me this in 2008, be true to you. You cannot have mental health if you're not truthful to yourself. And I believe we're doing better as a people that we get counseling. We understand it's okay to have therapy and pray. But I think for so long we have been taught to hide how we feel, hide our emotion, don't express our emotion. What's going on in the house stays in the house. And so we've been trained to mask our pain, our suffering, to the point where it's distorted our memory, our mental health.
Right.
And so we have to take control over that. And so I'm glad that we understand that therapy is important, and it's okay. It's okay to get therapy. And I said this before, it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
But it's not okay to stay
In
not
that.
being okay. Okay. So that's where I'm at.
Everything is temporary.
If you let it.
Right. But I think everyone could benefit from therapy or counseling. Even if you feel as if like you're in a healthy mental state or like everything in your life is going good, I guarantee you could still benefit
I know,
from
right?
some therapy in your life.
If you're one of those persons that you feel like everything in your life is good and you're perfect, that is a sign that you can use
need
some
help.
therapy. Yeah, because
Nah,
no
for
one's
real.
perfect. Absolutely, no one's perfect. And we got this thing now that I'm an expert in this and I'm an expert in that. But who's there to say that you're an expert? Because your opinion, the way you handle something, may not work for me, right?
Right.
But I can help you. I can guide you. And I say that because I'm a life coach too. But I never tell people that I'm perfect. I never tell people I'm an expert. But I tell them that if they want someone to help them through their situation with their authenticness and their truthfulness, then I'm the person for them.
I'm not a life coach, but I'm always here if you need me. If you need a listening ear, and I will be honest. Yeah. Speaking of honesty, there is this clip going around where it's saying like, mean people, right? They'll say like, "Oh, I'm not mean. I'm just blunt." And the clip says that like bluntness is not necessarily. There is a certain way to tell the truth, and there's a certain time to tell the truth. I just want to say, if one more person send me that clip,
that's because are they saying that you're too blunt?
I'm sure.
Or you say is that a statement you like to use? I'm not mean.
No, I don't feel like I say that. I'm not mean. I'm just blunt. However, I do feel like people would say it applies to me because that's what other people will say about me. Like, oh, she's not mean. She's just blunt. I personally don't say that because I don't think I'm mean or blunt. I think I just be talking.
Amen.
But however, if I suppose if multiple people saying the same thing,
where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. So
so you this is why we're talking about mental health, right? And I can say that too because I remember growing up. And my sisters used to be, well, one particular sister used to be like, you're so mean, you're so mean, you're just so mean. And
that's you to me now.
And and people used to say, well, I hear that they would tell me stories like people say, oh, your little sister home, I'm finna go. Because I would be so mean, not knowing I was being mean.
Right.
But as I got older, I didn't like that
description
of myself, nor did I like the place that it left me in. Even to the point when I married Woody, because it was told to him that I was so mean, I showed up meaner than a junkyard dog. Because my thing was, you're going to leave because of my meanness, then let me help you leave faster. And so, but in that, also getting closer to Christ, I realized that that was not of God, right? Because he said, through loving kindness have I drawn all men. And we know the saying that you can get more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. And so you want to, because I'm so sensitive, I realized when I was younger, because I was so sensitive, the best way for me to protect myself was to be blunt, to be straightforward, to be stern. But in that, I realized all I did was hurt myself, right? Because not only did I hurt myself as far as it caused isolation, it also caused people to shun away from me. And like I said, in this world, everybody needs somebody. And so you want to be mindful of how you portray yourself. You don't ever want to portray yourself to being someone that you're not. But at the same time, I believe in treating people how I want to be treated. I believe in that because I know how it is to have the opposite end done to you.
Like to be mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have somebody being mean to you?
Right. Or not like because of someone saying you're mean.
Right.
And so I think about that too sometime about you when I say, Mommy, you can do it a little better. Come on, Mommy. Because as a mother, I don't want you to experience the same things I experience. I don't want that to be your a part of your character or a part of your description when someone think of you, because that's not what I want for you, and that's not who you are to me. You have your mean moments. I have my mean moments, but let it be moments. Let it not be a part of let it not be who we are.
Yeah. I'm always going to say that I don't think I'm mean, but I might be a little bit delusional. So there are some things that I can work on.
Sometimes they say when you don't know how you really show up, ask your people who you value. So when you take not, and then this is what, life is so screwed up because they say don't
look
don't
at
worry
yourself
about
through
what
other
people
people's
say.
eyes,
Don't look at
right.
yourself through the other eyes. But you got to have balance in that thing, because you do need to know what's been said about you behind closed doors.
I know.
Not to the point where,
I know what's being said about me.
Not to the point where it makes you lose peace, but I think it was
enough to where it brings you awareness.
Exactly. And change that need to be changed. Yes. I don't know her last name, but it's a comedian. Her first name is Cheryl. And she said that she was supposed to be on Queen of Comedy, and she happened to be on a talk show on a conference call about them having her on as part of the Queen of Comedy, but they didn't know she was on the conference call. The other comedians didn't know she was on there. And who was it, babe? Cheryl Underwood, right? That's who it was. And they was talking about her so bad. But she said what she did was she took what they said about her and she made it work out for their good. She used their negativeness, which was kind of true, but she used it to change. She used it for her better. So when you find out what people are saying in a sense for your better, not to the point where it makes you hide, it makes you minimize who you are, it makes you dim your light, it makes you run away and hide. You don't want to do that. But you do want to be able to see who you are, and those things that you can resonate with, you do, and those things that's not, you just
let it go.
You let it go.
If it doesn't fly, let it. No, if it doesn't apply, let it fly.
Yeah.
No, that's valid, because right now, which is why I advocate for therapy for everyone, because I need some myself. But because now, when people, or like in the past, and probably even now, when people say like, "Oh, she's just mean," I be like, "Oh, well, I just ain't gonna talk then. I'ma just be quiet." But I mean, that doesn't really solve anything, and that's me minimizing myself for the benefit of other people, and I also do not want to do that. So it comes a point where I have to figure it out, because I don't want to come off as mean, but I also don't want to minimize myself just for the sake of making someone else feel better. What I do know is that I can appreciate the people that are around me a little bit more, just because, which, I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing, but I know that it's not easy to deal with me. Yeah. So I know that the ones who are around me, they are like they genuinely for me. Yeah, like, right. Like it's not like there's no secret animosity or anything like that, because it's kind of hard to be around me with secret animosity. One, I don't take anything seriously. I'm working on that though. And two, I'm always so like, I'm gonna ask like, well, what's the problem? Which is, I mean, I don't want to say I'm confrontational, but I do like to have an understanding of like, what's the problem? But I do know that I can work on my delivery. Exactly. That's what it is, delivering. You can say pretty much anything. It's the tone you say it, and when you say it with love. Yeah, I always tell people it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Right. Well, you know what they say. So work on it. They say you teach best what you need to learn. That's why I'm such a good teacher, because there is just so much I need to learn. But if you listen to me, and you just do what I say. Do as I say and not as
like
I
I used to
do.
tell you when I was a child, do what I say and not what I do.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, but no.
But I messed up because I did as you said it ended.
No, Linda. No, you didn't. Obvious you did not. But
Why
that's
obvious?
the thing, because Morgan, you
Because I got 4 kids.
Anyway, we're not going through there today. But here's the thing: you're at a prime age that you can shift your life into what you want your life to be. You can show up in life. You can take control of how you show up in life, and not let someone else dictate to you how you show up in life. And that's what we have to do. Going back to your story is for how do you compare on how do you deal with comparing yourself to other people or people comparing you to others. Now, I don't like to say I compare my children to each other. I just was telling my kids what they wasn't gonna do like the other one, but I never told my children to respond like the other child. I don't think I did.
No, I don't think there was ever a time where you were like, "Oh, you need to be more like Eric." Now, like you said, you would say,
"Don't do what Ken doing,"
and you would always say that Ken got the butter off the duck, and that you wouldn't let that happen to us. Now, I will say that Ken kind of made you, I wouldn't say a mean mom, but he made you stern.
Yeah, he's stern. He made me sterner.
To the point where like we never really had a chance.
Yeah.
To even if it was a thought, it just it simply couldn't happen.
Yeah, you're right. And I apologize to you and Eric. And my hand of grace was short. My I trust you was when I saw you.
Right.
And until you guys got older. And that's because you learn as a parent, you don't have a rule book or how to raise kids, and you don't know what's wrong from right. It go through experience. And so you learn. I was looking out of the window of raising Ken, and from looking out of the window to raising Ken, then I started raising you and Eric. But at the same time, I think I mean, if I can do it all over again, would I do some things different? Absolutely. If I had to do it all again, would I still do certain things? Absolutely. So
I think you were a great mom. I feel like you did the best that you could with what you were given. People fail to realize that your parents are growing up the same way that you are. Mm-hmm. It's an experience for both of us. Yes, you had other children, but like you said, there's no rule book, so every situation is not the same. And I personally was your first daughter. I ain't gonna say your only daughter, but I was your first daughter, so it was different for you. And so I feel like we have to show each other grace. Like as a child, you need to show your parent grace. It's harder because you have certain expectations, being that they're your parent and you did not ask to be here. But at the same time, they have to grow as well, the same way that you have to grow.
Yeah, and I think that's just reality. I remember thinking that my mom hated me, thinking that she just,
I'm gonna beat you, the candy come out. I'm gonna beat you, the candy come out. Mm-hmm.
What movie that's from, mommy?
First Sunday.
Which movie?
The one about the slave and the baby and the journal.
Oh, I don't know the name of. That's what it's called. It's on the post. It's called Cricket Dance. It was the Crickets Dance.
Crickets Dance.
It's on the screen. It was a great movie. The Crickets Dance. And I was just like, oh wow. It started out a little slow, but if you watch it, it makes sense, Yeah.
I had to fix my leave out.
Yeah, go ahead, fix that. But what I was saying is that you do have to give your parents grace, because I did not understand the way my mom was raising us, the sternness of her, the way she responded to me about certain things. But as I grew older,
and had your own children.
When I first started having my children, it was better, but definitely when I had you. Okay, when I first found out I was having you, I was repenting then. I was telling God,
I'm so sorry,
no,
Mama.
that was in the hospital when I was crying. When I first found out I was having a girl, because she kept saying, "You're gonna have a girl, she's gonna be just like you. That's okay. Everything you did to me, she gonna do to you." And I was like, "Oh no, she ain't," because I'm never having a girl. I thought I had 2 boys and I was gonna have no more kids. Then, I got pregnant with you. But nevertheless, as I started having kids, I realized my mom did do the best that she could. And then I also realized the reason why my mom was so hard on me, it felt like she was so hard on me because we are so much alike. Which, as I look at you, we are so much alike. And I don't know if my mom have ever said it. Well, she do think I'm her twin. But also, I get along so much better with my mom not living with her.
Right.
Because we are so much alike. And I understand that now in my older age. I didn't understand why we didn't get along living together. But this is why, because, and not on that, she didn't want me to go down the same road that she went down. And so I love her to death. I love her to life. I love her to life. She became my best friend. And yeah. So
we do well.
We're doing real good.
This is the best.
Well, hold on, give me some love over here. we're gonna keep going nevertheless. Uh yeah. So don't just make sure you know that he's not God.
No, I know he's not God. But in my life, it goes God, my daddy,
my mom.
my mama, then Eric, then Ken. In the order of how I know people are gonna help me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
gonna need you to get to the place where God is first, because the only reason why, okay.
I said it's God, my
Okay.
daddy, then my mama,
Okay.
then Eric, then Ken.
Okay.
You know, my other daddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an order, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will say that I could go to God more, but that's just something that I have to work on, because you know I often feel like I don't hear him, or that like he doesn't respond to me, and I'm probably being impatient.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely.
Yeah, because you like ask him, he listened to you.
You know, I tell you that all the time.
Ask him, he listened to you.
I was like, he don't listen to me.
Yeah, you be like, ask him. I say he'll tell you, he'll tell me, but he do. You just have to be open to hear, and he have guided you through some things that you know it was only him that kept you. And
that car accident.
Yeah, he has, and so he's even spoken to you even about it was time to move on in a relationship. You just was trying to do it in your own time. Get yourself together first. Remember,
right?
You like, I'm just gonna get
that man said, "Get out." I said, "Okay."
Because God, even with the job, this last job, you knew it was your time. God had already told you.
Right, and one thing I will say, and so again, yes, maybe it's not that I don't hear him, but more so that I don't listen, because I tend to have my own plans and my own route that I want to take. And every time it's always, I want to get myself a little bit more together first. And I think, well, not even I think, I can say right now that I know he's trying to tell me that, like, you don't have to have it together in order to do it, or in order to leave when something is no longer serving you.
Lean not to your own ways, acknowledge him in all your ways, and he should direct. Lean not to your own understanding.
Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path.
That's right. Come through, sis. And
you know, I was raised in the church.
Hallelujah. Where you was raised at?
In the church.
Who raised you in the church?
My mother.
Come on, Jesus. And so, I'll just aside, you do hear the voice of God, and we just think we're supposed to hear God's voice the same way somebody else hears,
right?
And it is not. And so, the more you ask him,
yeah, that's my disconnect. I'm more so looking for like a voice in my ear, or like someone coming along to say, "Thus saith the Lord." But I feel like he speaks to me in feelings, in
it's a
inklings
voice
that I have within myself, and I will often ignore it, thinking that I have to do something else in order for me to get to the point where I can actually act on that inkling or that feeling that I have within myself. And every time he was like,
Yeah, and most of the time when God speaks to you, and especially when you're a babe in Christ, he's going to speak to you in a voice, I feel, that you feel safe in, a voice that you trust in. Sometimes that voice is yourself. Sometimes that voice may be a mother or a father, or just some figure in your life that you look up to.
Right.
And then sometimes it's not a feeling; it's just a thought that comes within. And you think that thought is yours, but 9 times out of 10, if it's good, that thought truly is coming from him. So,
yeah, and I can say I wouldn't say wasted time, but I've definitely prolonged things in situations that I didn't have to. Like in my last job, I was supposed to leave in December. I was actually supposed to leave before then, before then, because I wasn't supposed
to be there for about 2 weeks.
You know, and I ended up being there for almost a year. And it just gets to a point where he will literally make me feel and just disrespected in the worst way, to the point that I feel like if I even come back, I'm a fool. But you know, they say God love babies and fools.
Yeah.
Which one am I?
Don't want to be now one of them. Don't want to be no fool, huh? Because a fool is a man that can't take counseling. A fool can't grab a hold to wisdom. So you don't want to be either one of those, and because you don't want to be a baby, because you want to mature in life
and growth. You know, growth is the name of life.
And we talked about that, growth. You got to be able to do the work as far as your mental health, as far as your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health. You got to be able to do the work. And so I ask myself those hard questions. God, is it me? God, what is it that you want me to do with this? Or I play back things in my life, and I can probably picture me, or picture you guys, or picture the situation, and the God in me now is like, would you have handled it that way,
That
if
same
you
way.
that same way? And when I know it's a no, then I know not to do that again. I know to ask for forgiveness for that thing. And as far as even just the how I show up in the world today, I try hard to show up not pretending to be anything
That you're not.
that I'm not, and I'm not gonna do that. And I talked about, that's what God was saying, be true to you, be true to who you are. And I try to show up in my authentic self, but sometimes I feel like because I show up in my authenticness, people don't want to deal with me, right? But here's what I decided. I decided whether or not they want to deal with me, I'm not gonna stop being me,
Right.
because I've done the work, that I know the me that I am now is not jealous, it's not envy, it's not haughtiness, it's not anger, it's not resentment, it's not unforgiveness. And so because I show up in love, I show up with respect, I show up with sympathy and empathy for others, I'm a okay with who I am. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. But I feel like, because when I have my low points, or when I go through my financial struggles, or when I'm just not feeling good, even in my 20 pounds heaviness, that because I'm okay with me, people feel like I'm not the person to follow or listen to. And that's because we cannot keep comparing ourselves to other people.
And I think that showing up as your authentic self is important, because just because these 10 people over here may
Mhm.
not feel like, they should listen to you, it's 100 people over here who feel like I can listen to her
Mhm.
because she's being, fix it, Jesus, because she's being honest, she's
Right.
being authentic.
Right.
What doesn't work for someone else
Does not.
completely works for a different person.
Right.
So never let that stop you. I commend you for that.
And this is why I say that I tell people all the time, I've been saying this for years. Uh, there is a certain people name that I have in the book of God, the jar of God that He directed, gave to me, hand over to me, that, hey, Angela, you're going to water these seeds. You're going to plant these seeds. You're going to speak into these seeds. And so those seeds,
I am
those
one of them.
names, that's who I'm called for. I'm not called for everybody. And I'm okay with that. And so in the midst of comparing yourself, you look at people, right? For where you want to go.
Right.
You look at what people are doing according to what you want to do. But it should never make you look at yourself and think you're
Less
not.
than of yourself.
Exactly. You're not less than, you're not good enough, uh, um you're not worthy of, you don't have any value. When you compare yourself to someone that it makes you feel less than, then it's a problem. If someone is comparing you to someone that make you feel less than,
It's a
then it's a
problem.
problem. And so that's when when comparison
It's hindering
heading.
you versus it being a benefit, because comparison can be
Oh,
beneficial,
most definitely.
but only if you use it as motivational,
Mhm.
motivational purposes.
Mhm.
If you look at this person and you say, if they can do it, I can do
Do
it
it.
too.
Right.
Not in a negative way, like, oh, if she could do it, then I could do it.
Because
But
there's a difference.
you know,
Because people do that.
but if you can look at this person and see how they've achieved so much, and you basically come from the same place, know that you can do the same
Mhm.
thing. But again, don't do it in a way like, oh, she not better than me.
Or how come she got it and I
Right.
don't? Now I've asked myself, like, okay, God, how did so and so get discovered for doing what I'm doing and I haven't? What am I missing? Right?
Mhm.
Not that she don't deserve it, not that he don't deserve it, not that I should be in their place, but
What
what's
can you
my
do differently?
what exactly? How are you going to use me? What's the step that I need to take to make to the next level? Even to the point where I have friends, right? That we all used to hang out together, and I'm a little thicker now. They still not. They got a flat belly and all. Here's the thing. I don't look at them and say, well, why they still got us? I dress according to myself.
Right.
And so when you can be able to appreciate it because I love it. I love their flatness. I think they're sexy. When I go places, I try to put them in front so they can get us in the door early. I try to use them. Carrie,
In a
go
good
and get
way.
us a seat. But anyway, I say that to say when you can love somebody for who they are, even though you don't have it,
Right.
that's the place to be in. When you're not jealous because someone has something that you want or once had, then that's the place to be in. But when you compare yourself, or you not like someone, or you have a problem with someone having something or being something that you used to be or not having, then not only do you need to work on your mental health, you need to get some counseling and work on your spiritual health, because spiritually there is something ugly inside of you
You're right.
that causes you to be jealous of someone who has the same things that you have. We're all ladies, we all have two legs, two eyes, two titties, but
Well,
one cool cat.
I'm extraterrestrial.
Anyway, so it's just no reason to be jealous. And so when that thing rolls in you, if you don't sit with it, it's gonna fester. And when I say sit with it, I don't mean sit with it and just let
wallow,
it and
right.
wallow in it. Then yes, it's gonna fester in a negative way. But if you don't take the time to sit and evaluate, now where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I feel that way? And look from within and not looking to point a finger, then it's gonna grow and overtake you. And that's how mean girls become mean old ladies.
Mm-hmm. Instead of becoming nice old ladies.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that if you have a feeling, you can't just push it aside or push it down. You have to actually feel it in order to get through it. Because if you don't allow yourself to feel it, that's when you become bottled up. You become overly angry, unapproachable, and it just makes life harder for you.
You put
to
that
be
wall
honest,
up, you put a band-aid on it, and then when something else happened, that thing come up. Now you just
You're
had a
blown
little
up.
spot of cancer. Now you went to stage 4 of cancer.
Right.
And I mean, I'm talking about angerness, I'm talking about bitterness, I'm talking about hatred, I'm talking about jealousy, I'm talking about resentment for something that someone don't even have control over. You're mad at somebody, or you hate somebody about something that they didn't even. Half the time the blessing came from God.
Just
Most
fell
of
in
the
their
blessing,
lap.
it just fell. Not half the time, because all good gifts come from God. But I'm saying that you're blaming someone, you hating someone about something that they have no control of. They cannot help that you don't have what they have. They cannot help you don't look like what they look like. But if you want to, all these people out here buying their bodies because they comparing themselves to each other. But I'm just saying, if you want it,
go get it.
Go get it.
In any way, form, or fashion. Instead of sitting here saying,
I hate her.
You
She
know?
make me sick. She thinks she all that.
Go do it.
Go do it.
Go do it. Go get that surgery. Go get in the gym.
Or like Morgan and I doing as far as physical health. We're taking control of our physical health. This is not, I haven't told anybody, but this is day 8 of no Pepsi. No Pepsi. Day 8. You like, oh, Pepsi. I don't care what it is. A stronghold is a stronghold. Addiction is addiction. And everybody who know me know that I have truly been addicted to Pepsi.
Truly.
And I can stop for 6 months. I could stop for a year, but as soon as, I don't know if I really stopped for a year, but I have stopped for 6 months. And as soon as something bad, it's like a crackhead. As soon as I have struggle or trouble, I'll be like, oh, I need a Pepsi. I need something strong. I need a Pepsi. And I'll be like, go get me a Pepsi, babe. When you go get me a Pepsi? And I'm just thanking God I don't have headaches because I had withdrawal. That's why I'm saying addiction is addiction. I had a withdrawal from the Pepsi. And I'm just grateful that Pepsi is not a part of my life. And I'm not going to say that I drink one every now and then. My thought is to try to just not drink them, because that drink one every now and then.
Then it becomes you
and I
drinking
realized it used to be years I used to drink 6 packs of Pepsi a day. And in the last month or so, I realized I was drinking 3 Pepsi a day.
And not the little ones.
And it was like, okay, what happened to you having one a day?
Right.
And so instead of me saying I'm gonna go back to one a day, I decided I'm just gonna not go back to them. And so I say that to say it's time to get healthy. It's time to do better with ourselves, take back control of our life. And one of the ways to get healthy is we already know that it really starts in the kitchen as far as how we eat. And so we're going to take control of how we eat. But one of the easiest thing as far as our health that we don't want to do it, and that is keep moving. We need to do some form of movement, whether and something so simple as take a walk every day.
Yep.
In the midst of walking, not only are you clearing your lungs, you're seeing the beauty of what God created. You're just seeing the taking a different view. It adds days to your life. Why don't we do it?
Lazy,
Complacent,
comfortable.
slowfulness. And that God has told her all those things is slowfulness, laziness, complacent, procrastination is the way to lack. And so if you're wondering why you're lacking, not have enough of some of those things, some of the things is because we're lazy. We don't get up and we don't move. We got to the point where all we want to do is sit in front of the TV, or me lay in the bed and watch YouTube all day. And then when somebody asks me to do something, I get up. I got an attitude because I don't want to get up. But then I wonder how come I feel like there's a void in my life.
Right.
I feel like I'm
Because there
missing
is,
something.
because you are.
Get up. It is.
You know, you see in the same four walls every day. You might put on a different TV show or might watch a different YouTube channel, but it's still the same.
Same every day. And so when I do notice that when I get out of the house, my creativity starts. And when I get in the shower, my creativity shower. I shower every day now. I shower every day.
Glow, I would hope so. It's a different glow to yourself, you know, when you go out versus when you just stay in the house.
Yeah, because I say one of the things that people don't understand as far as your mental health is light makes a difference. When you're in the house and you're in the dark, you close the windows, you got the lights cut off. That's a form of depression that you don't want any light in. That let you know darkness is overtaking you.
You got your door closed.
Yeah.
You don't want nobody coming in there.
Darkness is overtaking you.
I walk in the room. What you in here for?
That's why you will see me sometime I get up, I open the curtains in my room, in the living room, because you have to get to the point where you got to let darkness know that it does not dwell within you.
I know that's right.
Amen. Well, any questions? I don't know, you guys. We're on YouTube. This is our first time. We're not commenting back and forth, but I hope you guys are watching. I hope you guys are shared, and we will share it again on our page. You have anything you want to say, Morgan?
Commit to a healthy diet.
Commit to a health. Commitment is the key to everything.
And you know what? That is my problem. I didn't realize it, but I slick have a fear of commitment, and so I'm the problem in some ways. But then
at least
also
you're able to admit that you know that you play a part.
Yes, I am not good with commitment, and I lack consistency
and discipline.
Yes, heavy on procrastination. So you know, I'm aware of these things. It's just a matter of doing the work to adjust it, to overcome it, to fix it, because I don't want to continue living the same years.
That's right.
I don't want to look back and see that this year is just like last year or the year before or the year before or the year before. So
yeah, and I tell you all the time, I don't want you to get to my age to figure I got to do it different.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know now that I have to do it differently. It's just a matter of doing it, taking the steps, doing the work, not just, you know, saying it like. But you know, one thing I always tell people that if you can change your mind, you can change your life, because that's where it all starts. It all starts right here. And then once you get this in order, then you can get the rest to follow. You know?
It does. It starts in the mind, even as far as before you can get up and go exercise, you got to see yourself exercising. Before you can see yourself eating right, you got to see yourself eating right. And so in that, let's get healthy together, physically, mentally, emotionally. Let's do it together. Watch our journey as far as doing our work for our mental state, as far as our physical body. Morgan doesn't have as much work as I need, but at the same time, we can
take. I got to shake this gut and get a butt.
You want a butt? Butt making knees
not like redonkulous. Okay. I don't want no, but I want, you know.
I just want to get
that you can see in jeans.
I want to be healthy.
Okay,
you can see my butt in jeans.
I mean,
you can see my midsection in the shirt.
You can see everything in your jeans.
I just want to be healthy. I want to live a long life. I feel like there is a lot that God has called me to, and that I'm coming into. And in order to do it, I need to be healthy.
You got to get it together.
I got to get it together. And so,
but you have to listen to me, Linda.
Listen to you, mommy?
Yes.
About what?
Getting it together.
And you gonna listen to me about getting it together?
Right. I help you physically and you can help me mentally.
Okay,
Right.
no problem. Let's get it together. We're gonna she's gonna be in control of our diet and we're gonna exercise. And I'm gonna make sure that I seek the spiritual guidance for us as well as continue to sharpen her ears. Her sharpen her ears. I can't sharpen it for her. Her sharpen her ears to hear the voice of God. And let's grow spiritually. Let's grow emotionally. Let's grow better physically. Don't grow physically.
And recommend some therapists if you know them.
Yeah.
Preferably black. Not preferably black. I want them black.
And come on the show. Come and be a part of the show. Come share your story. Mother's Day is coming up, and we would love to have a mother and a daughter to do the segment with us. Preferably someone 18 or older. What, mommy?
I'm a mother.
Someone else.
Okay, well, I'll ask Kadia.
Yeah, someone else. Their mother and daughter.
Okay, yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
I thought you meant like from our mother's point of view.
No. Okay. Another mother and another daughter to sit and talk with you and I.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we want.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great for mothers. The mothers the Monday after Mother's Day. So come and join us. And yeah.
Because it's already April, and then next up is May. And that's Mother's Day. I see what you're saying. I'm with you.
You see me? Yeah. And so yeah, get your twin and get your mama.
Your mama.
And come hang out with us.
And don't call her your mammy.
I ain't say.
That's because what you be calling me.
When it come down to Mocha.
Yeah, why?
I'm like, Mocha, come get your mammy. Where your mammy?
I'm just a single mother, that's all.
She was like, why you calling me mammy? I be like, because you ain't got no daddy.
Yeah.
Your baby ain't got no daddy.
Just a single mother.
Anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Make sure you subscribe because as you see, we're not going live on Facebook. We're strictly on YouTube. So subscribe, like, share, and comment. Please come and share with us. We greatly appreciate it. Share the news. Share this podcast. Share this broadcast with someone. I'm sure they can use it. Mm-hmm. And kudos to Morgan for being faithful to everything. And I'm so proud of you.
Subscribe to my YouTube. When I get to 200 subscribers, then I'll drop a video.
And what's your YouTube?
Wiz Monifa. WIZ space MONIFA. Don't type that in anywhere else though.
Why?
Because I just want them to subscribe to my YouTube.
Okay. Subscribe to her YouTube. And also, I have a YouTube, Doing Life with Angela. Doing Life with Angela. Just like my Facebook page, Doing Life with Angela, where it's more about how I live my life on a daily, talking about fashion, showing our Getting Fit challenge, showing the work that we're doing with our mental state. That's what my Doing Life with Angela, even sharing my life with Woody and my family. So you want to subscribe to that channel. I'm going to start back loading up. But with Be True to You talk show, it's about this segment as far as sharing situation that we feel like can help someone, encourage you, inspire you to be the better you. With that being said, this is your girl, Angela, the Be True to You talk show. Everything you do, always be true to you. I love you.
Bye. Wiz.
Say it, mother.
I don't have a tag. I can't say my tagline on here.
True to you is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about being okay with the good, bad, and ugly. To accept those things about ourselves that we can't change, and those things that need to be changed, we put on our big girl panties and do the work. Be true to you is about being real with God, being real with self, so we can be true to you. Be true to you is not about competing with one another. We're about compromise.